Namaskar, Dilip Singh Advocate. Welcome to my channel Legal Outlook by Dilip Singh. There is a beautiful line of Benjamin Disraeli. Power has one duty to secure the social welfare of the people. And this is one line which motivates the government to secure the interest of the worker. Recently, 10 acts have been consolidated into one code. There are 14 chapters, 164 sections, and 7 schedules, and that code is Code on Social Security 2020. Everyone was sad when they saw the plight of the migrant workers during the lockdown. Hope some better deal to them by this Social Security code. This code consolidates the law related to Employees Provident Fund, ESI, Social Security Fund, gratuity, maternity benefit, employees compensation, benefits to construction workers, and all organized and unorganized social workers. Let us discuss the salient features of the code. First, what is the concept of social security and what it refers to in this code? Here, social security refers to health benefits, maternity benefits, provisions of income security like provident fund, pension fund, insurance, etc. to all workers. Code provides for social security fund. This is the new concept that has been introduced in this code. The central government and state governments will set up a social security fund for purpose of implementing various programs for the welfare of workers of all sectors. What kind of workers are covered under the social security schemes? The 2020 code has provisions for registration of all the three categories of workers: unorganized workers, gig workers, and platform workers. For Provident Fund, Aadhaar based registration is mandatory for every establishment and particularly for those having 20 and more workers. And ESI will be available to all the 740 districts throughout the India. Unorganized sectors workers refers to home-based and self-employed workers. Gig workers refers to workers outside the traditional employer-employee relationship. Platform workers refer to those who access organization or individuals through an online platform and provide services or solve specific problems. So all workers are covered under it. Now, there is this code provides for National Social Security Board. A National Social Security Board will be formed, and that will administer welfare schemes for workers for unorganized sector, gig workers and platform workers. The board will comprise of a different set of members including 5 representatives of aggregators and 5 representatives of the gig workers and platform workers nominated by the central government. Even the earlier aggregators will be nominated by the central government. Third, the directors general of ESI and 5 representatives of state government. So they will form the board. Now, as per section 2, subsection 2, aggregators mean a digital intermediary or a marketplace for a buyer or user of a service to connect with the seller or service of provider. Then what are the changes in definition have been made in this code 2020? First, the definition of employee is extended to include workers employed through contractors. Even this is a very welcome change. Otherwise, what we used to say that the industry used to employ through the contractors to avoid the responsibility. So now this is a welcome change. The second important change is the interstate migrant workers is expanded to include self-employed workers from another state. Next, the platform worker is to include additional categories of services or activities as may be notified by the government. The definition of audio-visual production to include films, web-based serials, talk shows, reality shows, and sports shows. Then what is the term of eligibility for gratuity in the new code? The 2020 code reduces the period of gratuity from 5 years to the 3 years for working, and it is also available for the working journalist. This is a welcome move. Only difficult thing is that it's administration. What are the changes in offenses and penalties in the code? The maximum imprisonment for obstructing an inspector for performing his duty has been reduced from 1 year to 6 months. Similarly, the penalty of unlawfully deducting the employer's contribution from the employee's wages has been changed from fine of rupees 50,000. Earlier, it was imprisonment of 1 year or fine of rupees 50,000. So the imprisonment provision has been removed here. One important feature is that additional powers given to the government, central government, during an epidemic period. So in the Bill 2020 bill, central government may defer the contribution of PF or ESI for a period up to maximum of 3 months in case of endemic or national disaster. In response to my first video on industrial relations code 2020, I received many questions from our viewer friends, and particularly two questions are raised by many viewers. And the first question is that what about the right to strike in new industrial code? Right to strike, there is a big no to right to strike or lockout in the all industrial establishment without notice. So notice has been made mandatory for going on a strike. Secondly, no strike in breach of contract without giving notice of 60 days before the strike, or within 40 days of giving such a notice, or before the expiry of the date given in such a notice for the strike. So strike has been made very difficult. Thirdly, that no strike during the conciliation proceeding or within the 7 days of conclusion of the conciliation proceeding, or during the proceeding before an industrial tribunal, or 60 days after the conclusion or of arbitration proceeding. So the strike has been made very difficult in the industrial relation code. And the other question which is asked by my viewers is, what is the case of dispute with employer? So the 2020 bills code classifies any dispute in relation to discharge, dismissal, retrenchment, or otherwise termination of the services of an individual worker to be an industrial dispute. The worker may apply to the industrial tribunal for adjudication of the dispute. However, the first step will be the conciliation process to resolve the dispute. So we see that there are several welcome change has been introduced in this industrial code as well as the social security code. And particularly I would like to say that कुछ महीने पहले हमने प्रवासी श्रमिकों की बड़ी दयनीय हालत देखी थी जब वो पैदल चलकर अपने घर जाना चाहते थे और अपने बच्चों को कंधे पे लिए हुए, तो वो मार्मिक दृश्य अभी भी हमारे नज़र में है. So hope these steps of government are to improve their condition in future and they will not face the hardships and difficulties as they have faced in the past. Thank you very much for watching this video. In my next video, I'll discuss about the third code, which is Occupational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code 2020. In my last video, I dealt with the Industrial Relation Code, and the link of that is given in this description section. Please watch that video and give your comment, because I have tried to cover in that industrial code very extensively in that video. And if you are watching these two videos together, then this will be beneficial for you to understanding the purpose of government, the object of government wants to achieve through these codes. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed, so that the video can reach to you at the time of upload. Thank you very much. Namaskar.